guys, how's it going? It's your boy J-Rod, back at it again with another video. I'm going to be reviewing the products that we use to make the podcast on the go. So let me turn this on. So right here, what you guys are seeing is all the products that we use that I was able to put together this package. So like that, I'm able to make these podcasts on the go. I probably should clip my mic, huh? So all these products that you're going to see here is everything that I use to make the podcast on the go. And then there's some honorable mentions that I threw out the boxes. I saved these boxes, obviously, so I can make this review right here. So hopefully, with that being said, I'll go through kind of like what I got and show you guys. I took everything out of the box so you guys can see. It'll be easy access. And I'll tell you what comes in the box because I already unpackaged it and been using it for a while now. So hopefully this helps you decide what you want to use. I'm going to go into the good and the bad of the things that I've experienced with these products. So you can decide for yourself if you do want to get this. It'll be a great way to know without having to spend the money because I already did. So let's get into it. So one of the first things, let me move some of this lights. So one of the first things you guys are going to see here, obviously, is my camera. So this is the Canon EOS R50V. Gotta make sure I stay in the frame with the other camera. So this is the Canon EOS R50V. It is a flip camera, flip screen. It doesn't have a eye shoot right here, so everything you're gonna see is gonna be on the screen right here. How normal cameras have the little eye here where you can see through. This one doesn't have it. This is more for recording. They have one of these that do have it, but this is the V. Cool feature about this one, it has the recording button right here in the bottom and the front, so you guys can see right here. And then it has another recording button right here in the top. The cool thing about this camera is it has 4 or 5 different features in the top for recording. It has 3 preset ones that you could make it whatever you want. It has car tracking, it has people tracking, and it has animal tracking. So you could set those with whatever settings you want and save them on the camera. So if you're shooting a car video, you switch it to the one setting where the car video is. Or if you're doing a car video and I got car tracking, you switch it to the setting where the car manual is. So that's the cool thing about this camera. What else can I say? It records up to 2 hours straight on paper. This is all on paper, correct? Right? So on paper, this camera records for 2 hours straight, and it really doesn't. After 45 minutes, I found out, because on the podcast, obviously you're recording for such a long time. 45 minutes, the camera dies because it starts heating up from being recording for such a long time, like continuously. It will kill the battery and the camera will turn off. That's the only bad thing about it. And then you gotta give it some time for the battery to cool off, or then put it to charge if you put a little fan on it. I've tried so many things to keep this thing from dying, and this is where all these other stuff come in, right? So the battery dies after 45 minutes, the camera will heat up and it will turn off on you. But once you get that figured out, the camera does record for a long time, nonstop. You can also do live, you could do interviews with this. And the price for this camera, I'm gonna have to add it here on the screen because I don't remember, I bought these at 2 separate times. With this camera, what I gotta say is, I did buy the outer cage from SmallRig, so I could add all the add-ons for it. And I'm using right now to film the podcast is a 24mm prime lens with the f2.8, I think it is. Oh no, the f2.8. Low aperture, so it could let in more light, because sometimes you're in a room like this that is kind of dark and you need more light to be let in the sensor. So that's that. With the camera, It has one battery at the bottom. Battery goes on the bottom right here. The SD card goes in right there. It comes with, get it here, hold on. It comes with a plug-in, and it comes with one battery and one plug-in. That's what it comes in. So all you got to do is take this, plug it to the wall. You take the battery, insert it in there, and then you're good to go. Put this to charge. It charges pretty quick. Probably like 30 minutes or an hour, you got full charge. And then you're good to go again. But yeah, that's what the camera comes with. And those are the things I added to it. I also added an extra mount to it right here, because once you guys see how I set this up, is a lot of stuff, and I put this little mount right here, this little tab, so you could like mount something to it, just so I could add either an extra light or anything else that I need. Because on this side it brings one on the SmallRig cage, it brings one right here, but this is where I mount the mic, and it has this one right here in the top, but I could use that for something else if I need to. And obviously it has a lot of holes on the cage where you could go ahead and like mount a lot of stuff on, and then also on the bottom makes it easy access. On the sides it brings more. But so with the problems with the camera, like I said, on paper it says it records up to 2 hours. It doesn't. It stops at the 45 minutes, it overheats and shuts off. This is mobile on the go. Now I did buy a dummy plug-in for the battery that you could plug straight to the power. With that, it's kind of the same thing. It kind of gives you an extra 5 minutes, but the camera still kind of heats up. It gets hot and it turns off. So it depends on if you're recording at 4K or if you're recording at 1080p. Obviously you want the best quality, because you want to, when you're recording long format videos, you want to be able to break it up and make it into like reels and shorts and stuff like that. So if you record high quality, when you break down the video, you're gonna have a better quality video for shorts, for reels, and etc. So that's that with this. Now all these other parts that I'm about to mention, like I said, was to combat the camera shutting off at 45 minutes and heating up, so I'm able to record for longer periods of time without having any issues. So yeah, let me show you the next thing that I got. So then when I found out about the battery wasn't doing so hot, you know, I went ahead and got doing some research, and I found this SmallRig battery right here. It holds a lot of charging power. This keeps the camera on recording continuously for 7 hours straight. Now, have I tried to record for 7 hours straight with this battery right here? I have not yet. I have recorded a little bit over an hour and a half with no issues. So I got this for the camera, right? And when you get this for the camera, this is where you guys seeing this orange cord right here. With this orange cord right here, it is a dummy battery. That is a dummy battery. And with set cord, all you gotta do is you take it, you plug it where it goes right here, and then you put this in the battery. You put this in the camera battery, and it turns the camera on. So this was one of the next steps I got. The thing about the camera, like I said, it records up to 7 hours. It gives you a percentage right here. I don't know if you guys could catch it. It says 27% of battery life. I don't know. I charged this like maybe a week or two ago, and then I've recorded like 2 podcasts with it, and it's just been sitting there. On the top here, you got a USB-C port, and then you got a regular USB plug where you give it out when it got 12 volts out also. So you could charge a lot of stuff with this. And this holds up to 7 hours for the camera. That was all I care about, but you could use it to charge your phone. You could use it for a lot of other things. I was only concerned about my recording time and how long I could keep the camera on, because that's what I use it for. But it's 7 hours of that. It takes up to 2 hours to charge this big old thing. So 2 hours on the charger, depending on what charger you have, to fully charge it. is great. It is a little heavy, so I don't have a little scale, but it weighs almost just as much as a camera, if not probably a little more than the camera does. So just keep that in mind when you order one of these for your on-the-go thing, because it gets pretty heavy pretty quick. So that was that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just plug this right here and just boom. So with that being said, when I ordered this, the camera will still heat up and turn off. I extended the battery past the 45-minute mark, but the camera will still get hot and turn off. So my next thing was, well, first of all, before I move on to that, I had to figure out how to mount this to the camera. And that's where the SmallRig, you know, V-mount comes in. That's where the SmallRig V-mount comes in. So this is what it looks like. And I'm glad I had already the cage, because on the bottom it makes it easy. It has this tab right here on the bottom. You could just open and slide it in. And this is pretty easy, just fold. It has another lever here on the side. You could just make it long and like. So the pro about this, you take the camera, make sure everything is open, and if you already have the SmallRig, you could just slide it, right? Now, this is where my complaint about this thing is. For you, obviously, you could just open this and put it down, and then you can open your screen and turn it, and then put this back up and kind of leave the screen sideways. That's how the camera stays normally. But if you were on the go, you know, you always have to do this. You always have to open it, let that out, and close it, and do the same thing again. And then obviously you're gonna have the camera rig right here in the back. So let me put that in here. So you just take it and it hooks on. Now the camera is really heavy. So this is not for something for you to be handheld, like easy. If you got weak hands, let me tell you, your hands are about to get real strong, because this thing does get heavy. And we're not done adding stuff to this. So let's take that there. We're gonna take the orange cord. This will be, when this is new, it's gonna be extremely hard, because let me see what way it goes in here. So when the battery and the cord are brand new, it's extremely hard to close the battery lever right here, like to close the tab, you know, because this thing is so strong. So you kind of gotta like manhandle it until it becomes soft enough for you to close it. The battery door for the camera, you have to physically push the tab close again. It will not click on close. So you have to like move it to open and unlock it. So that's what that looks like right now. So that's the camera with the battery pack. You know, it looks pretty cool. It looks like a cool rig. Now, with that there, right? The next problem I had, the camera was still overheating when I was recording. Here's where this cooling fan came in. I did a lot of research from SmallRig. SmallRig cooling fan. That's what it looks like. And this goes, I'm about to show you in the back of the camera. And it comes with the plug-in USB-C on both sides, which is nice because now I'm running the, you know, the big battery pack, and I could plug this to the big battery pack in order for turn on. So I'm gonna show you how to put it in. Well, no diddy. That sounded kind of. So you could kind of twist it sideways a little bit. Then it has. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. It has like a tab that you could like push in. You can see maybe there. It pushes in some, and then it has a solid side on the side. So you put in the solid side first. Actually, you put in the push in first, and then the silent side on the other side. And it goes where the screen closes. So is that where the screen closes? Can you guys see that right there? Where the screen closes, it goes in here. So what happens is the little fan turns on. The little fan turns on, and it has a backing plate, and that backing plate gets cooled. I don't know exactly like how it works. It's kind of like a refrigerator freon kind of thing, I guess. I don't know, but it works, and that's all I care about. So you put that back. Remember, I told you this stuff is gonna get heavier. Put that back. You take your plug in. Now the straight side, this side, I put it straight in. And then on the top, you take the top and kind of, at this point, you're gonna have to start doing some cable management, because if you leave the cables crazy, it's gonna be crazy. So you just kind of plug it in. So now, can you guys hear the fan kicking in? Right, it's on. Put it by the mic. I don't know if you guys can hear it in, but it has even more. You hear the fan? It has even more powerful. Now the fan is fully on. So if you plug it into the battery pack, the fan is gonna start spinning, but it's not fully gonna be on. It's gonna have a green light that is spinning. When it's fully on, can you guys see the blue light? The blue light will tell you the fan is fully on. When it's just kind of like on standby mode, it's like a green light. And hopefully the camera could catch it. Green light is standby mode, but it's still on and it's pulling power from the battery pack. Just remember that. And then blue means it's like on, I guess like fully on AC to cool the camera off. So make sure that when you have this here, if you're not using it, keep it unplugged, so you're not draining the battery out of the battery pack. So yeah, now with that being said, I've had the issue that when I went to an event to record, unfortunately, I have the, the podcast recorder stuff, and the receiver was in front of the tripod. Somebody knocked into the camera on the tripod and turned the receiver off somehow. I guess when they hit it, it like pushed on the buttons and stuff. So I lost the audio, and that sucked. I was so devastated because it was some of the best interviews I've done. Now, with the fan on, the mics from the camera pick up the fan very loud, which I'll demonstrate a clip so you guys can see. I went ahead and got the RØDE mic, the RØDE shotgun mic. This thing works wonders, and it has helped me a lot, because obviously the mic is like shotgunning to the person when they're facing them. So if the mic is facing you, it's gonna pick up a lot. But if it isn't, obviously it ain't. So I got the mic to combat the sound from the fan, and I'll demonstrate a clip with the fan on and the audio that I get just from the camera. And I'm gonna plug in the shotgun mic so you guys can see the audio difference once I finish assembling this stuff. So I take this, I plug it right here on the side, and as you can see, the cable is extremely long. So remember I told you gotta do some cable management. Now I took the cable, and I noticed if I wrap it around a couple times here, around the base of where you screw it in, it just gives you enough where the mic plug is exactly like the length that you need to plug it in. So now everything is nice and like contained. You see, cable's not going anywhere. It just plugged in right there. Super nice and simple, and it keeps everything out the way. So this concludes the camera rig that I use to be able to go on the go right here. So this is kind of what it looks like. That's what you guys seen on the reel. Now, obviously I wanted to get some nice stands for the GoPros that I didn't want something that will fall easy, or somebody will not easy. And since so the good thing about having multiple DJI mics, obviously the Osmo Pocket 3 came with one. I didn't notice that the battery was dying on it, and it just died on me. So let's put this back to record up here. Boom, so that's recording. Now let me put this other mic back on. So now that I got the mic back going, like I was saying, I wanted to get something where we could put the cameras without disturbing. After learning from going to the Build Different Boulevard, the people do not pay attention where you put stuff at. They just walk into stuff, and even like there were people making eye contact with me, and on top of that, they still walked into the tripod when they saw us recording and stuff like that. It was insane. I don't know how people are so oblivious, or just they just don't care. But that's fine, because I was able to do some more research. And this, what you see here, is a disc. This is the round base RB A200. They got different ones of these. So this is just like a table stand, because we were going to Florida and I didn't want to get a super long one. So boom, I got this. It has like a soft padding on the bottom, so it doesn't hurt anything. This just still kind of got like sand on it. So it goes there, and then it comes with this. An honorable mention that I got was, you see this? It kind of looks like a, like for a tripod to put the camera on and off. They sell this piece separately. I bought this separate. It doesn't come with it. Let me take it off so you guys can see what it comes with. So kind of like this is what it comes. This is how it looks. Like this. And that. So you can still mount stuff. And the cool thing about this is it got the two different size of pitch thread. So I got the thicker one, and if you're not using that one, it kind of pushes down. And it has a smaller for the screw. So that's kind of cool. Now this bad boy right here, since I have like the camera you guys have seen this from, like on the top, is like dangling. So that's another SmallRig item that I got, where you could either put it at the base of the table, I'll show you, or you could put it somewhere from up down. So I was having the issue on the one that comes from the top, that I always had to like screw the camera on, and being this heavy, it's kind of hard not to cross thread the camera on the stand. So I was like, man, I wonder if they make something where it's like a tripod where I could just like screw it in, like, and tighten it super easy and screw it back out. So I did some research and I found this from SmallRig. So you just take it and super simple, just tie it on there. And now the camera is able to go on there super easy. So the plate goes on like extremely easy. So you just take it and once you get it started, it's kind of like this, just, it's tight. And it goes pretty tall. So like, boom. And that's how long it goes. I forgot the wideness, but there's some that are like, that you could put it from the floor all the way up, kind of like a regular tripod. Those are a little more expensive. Again, I'm gonna put the price of all this stuff at the end, so you guys can see what I'm talking about, or when I'm talking about it, I'll put the price up on the screen. But yeah, I got all this stuff on Amazon, so Amazon is great for it. Love it. And yeah, round base mount. So this is what it looks like. Super easy. So the reason I got this one is because I wanted to make everything that I could carry, and like 2 backpacks if I needed to. I got 2 camera bags, and I was able to fit all this stuff plus my regular like EOS R camera with the battery pack on it and everything, all in 2 cameras. And it's great. I also brought GoPro. I brought my DJI Osmo 3, which is what I'm recording with. And all of that fit in 2 backpacks. And it was great because it made everything easy. So that means if Alex and I want to go somewhere, or if I have a podcast with another person, I could bring all my stuff on the go. Obviously, the lights and all that stuff, that's a separate bag. That's a bigger bag that I gotta bring. I could show you guys that in a different video if you guys want to see it. But then this goes right here from the camera. You see the bottom? The bottom is already like, you know, to be on the tripod. It has that from the V-mount rig, and the SmallRig cages already come with it, so you don't need an extra one. So I'll just take it, go this way, open it up and put it right here because this thing is like focusing on my face. Just take it, put it on there, and just tighten it up. Always make sure it's tight because you don't want your camera to slide off. And there you go. Now you have an on-the-go podcast setup. I always also use SD cards, like 250 gig ones, so I could record the most amount of memory because it's 4K. The higher the quality of the video, the more memory you're gonna use. So as you guys can see, this is what it looks like. It doesn't all fit in the frame. Oh, I think it might fit in the frame there. So it's kind of heavy, so I gotta use 2 hands. So this is what the setup looks like. And that's my on-the-go setup and what I use here at home to record my podcast. The cool thing now that you guys probably don't know is I got 2 of these suckers. So whatever money you see I spend, I had to spend it twice. Because when you're recording from the DJI to a Canon, let's say to a Sony, a Fuji, a Nikon, every company has different recording like software. And even if you're recording your iPhone, it's not gonna be the same video quality as recording on like the Canon cameras or whatever other camera I just mentioned. So you want your footage to look identical. You know, you don't want it to look different, or the color grading and everything. Like, yeah, you could get it, but when you're doing a podcast, you want everything to be uniform and simple. You don't want it to be where you have to like start editing like what the background or everything, all the colors look like. You want all your colors to match, your skin tones to match. It just makes your life easier, and then there's a lot less editing to go. I'm gonna turn this top camera off. So I got 2 of these. What you guys are seeing up here is what I've been recording the camera with from the top view. This is my second one. And what I'm recording this video on, it is my DJI Osmo 3. So this is my honest review on this stuff. I've done a lot of research to be able to get this stuff to be on the go. And I've been grateful, you know, that I've been able to experience all of this and go through all these headaches. So like that, I'm able to make this video and hopefully point you guys in the right direction. So you could buy your own camera. I've been trying so much not to say because I feel like that kills the video so bad. So, and it's a thing that I've been struggling with every time I make a video or a long format and I'm talking by myself, saying a lot of So if you see that I pause for a second, it's just trying not to say and then just gather my thoughts and then keep going. But this is all the products that I use to make the podcast on the go. Hopefully this information is able to help you. And you could choose. Hopefully this information is able to help you choose what camera you want to use for your podcast. Like you could use Sony, Canon, Fuji, or whatever other camera is out there that was within your budget. This was within my budget, so this is what I was able to do. And the cool thing about this camera is that it samples down from 6K. So that's really awesome. So the quality on the camera recording is like out of this world. I love it. The fact that you have the button in the front, you know, to press record, you don't have to like try to find it on the front, on the side or whatnot. It's super simple. Just hit the front record and you don't have to deal with it. I won't get really deep into the details of the camera, there's hundreds of videos on YouTube for that. I just wanted to show you guys what I'm using to make these podcasts on the go. And hopefully for future podcasts, this is like my ultimate setup right here. And it's taken a lot of time, a lot of errors, a lot of learning process. Everybody that's been on my podcast know that it is not easy. You think you have it figured out, you know, and then you start inviting people to be a part of it, and then stuff started going wrong. Luckily, a lot of the people that I've done the podcast with have been very, you know, chill. But if you know, when we get to the point that we interviewing like companies and stuff like that, you know, business owners and stuff, I know a lot of these people, like, I don't want to waste their time, especially if they set their schedule aside, you know. Like, I'm grateful that right now I've been able to start with like friends and people that I've met that are pretty chill. But if we ever get to that point where we do like super big events, I don't want to have any headache. And even then, you're gonna have some headaches, but you want to be as and even then you're gonna have some headaches, but you want to be as prepared as possible so everything could go as smoothly. When you have headaches and stuff go wrong, that means there's more editing. It takes longer because the editing part is fun. But remember, if we do a 2-hour podcast, that means I have to watch the 2 hours. And remember, if those 2 hours I start having mishaps and stuff like that, it just makes it longer for me to match up the video, make everything go correctly. It's all a learning game. It's happened to me plenty of times where one camera will keep recording, the other camera will stop. And I'm very blunt about it. It's, you know, mistakes are gonna happen. You're learning. If it's something you never done before, you're gonna have, you know, mishaps. The best thing you could do is just learn from them and learn how to get better, do some research, ask some friends. And if you can't find the answer, just go online, you know, YouTube, Google, even ChatGPT, you know, could help you. Like, there's answers out there for the stuff that you're looking for. You just gotta be willing to put in the work to find it and not wanting stuff to be handed down to you, because all this stuff nobody told me about. I wanted to start the podcast when I first started it. Like I said before, in plenty of videos, Chris and I were recording. I was on 2 GoPros and I was on the Canon EOS R. That camera doesn't record past 30 minutes. It will stop. And I had no idea. I didn't know because I never tried to do a long format video like a podcast like that. And we were on the go because we were at a park. I mean, you could stream it to a computer and record it that way with some software, but that wasn't the case for me. I want to be able to be everything on the go. But enough rambling, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this. And it was very informational for you. Like I said, everything is going to be listed with the price and in the description below. I'll try to find links for all of this stuff, obviously, because I bought everything. So it's going to take me a little while to like make sure that I put the video out with as much information as possible. None of this stuff is sponsored. Like, I paid out of pocket for all of this. So none of this is sponsored. I'm not making any money out of it. I just want somebody that's wanting to start a podcast or a stream or something like that, that this helps you, you know, decide what camera gear you want to get. Because I spend the money, I spend the time, I spend the headaches, and that's all. I just want to put out the information. None of this is sponsored. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. As you can see, there's a lot of different companies, you know. But it's what is working for me. So again, thanks guys for watching. I hope this was informative and it helps you decide what camera gear you want to go with. Again, this is your boy J-Rod and this is What's Your Drive. So thanks again. Until the next one.